Hello! Welcome back to Idjit's Gaming and a new series that I like to call Idjit's Bad Ideas. Because I'm an Idjit, and sometimes I have bad ideas. Sometimes these pan out to be good ideas, and sometimes they turn out to be stupid ideas. The rules for this challenge are pretty easy. The critter must not be super mutation stacked. It must be bred out from a wild tame. There may be a mutation or two considering the sheer quantity of creatures, and I cannot use any mods that would increase the damage of my critter or decrease the health of the opponent. Now, everyone knows that the Desert Titan can be taken down with most any flyer. The RG, the Snow Owl, the Griffin, Wyvern, whatever. But can it be taken down with a shoulder pet? What if you brought a lot of shoulder pets? Would they be able to survive? And more importantly, would they win? Obviously, with the Desert Titan being a flyer that never lands, you're limited in what you can take against it. Yeah, you can cheese it by throwing a land dino on its back and letting it rip and shred. But Wildcard already thought of that, so the Titan will do a bear roll to throw your precious dino off. You can mount your dino to keep it on its back, but I'm bad at this game, and every time I try that, I get smacked around before I can switch critters. So we're going to focus on either flyers or critters with ranged attack. In today's episode, we're going to be trying out everyone's least favorite flying thief, the bane of any beach bob's existence, the Ichthyornis. The annoying seagull that doesn't just want your french fries, it wants everything in your inventory and your life. And I decided that while one seagull is annoying, 100 of these pesky pigeons should be able to beat on the Desert Titan like it owes them money. And maybe, just maybe, flap away with their numbers in check and a trophy in their beaks. Can they do it? Can the Sky Rats take the crown of King of the Sky from the Titan? Or will Big Flappy Daddy slap them down and fly away laughing at their annoyance? We're here on Amissa, just because I like this map, and I can get basically any critter I want and fight all the bosses. So I brought 100 Ichthyes with me, and we're gonna try to lay the smackdown on this big old bastard. I'm gonna be nice and speed up the fight, because if you've never used Ichthyornis, they don't do a whole lot of damage, and this takes a minute. Right off the bat, the tiny terrors of thievery tear into the Titan, pecking, clawing, scratching, everything they can do to try to get into it. They were told there's maybe food in its belly, and it has a penchant for adding some Alka-Seltzer to food. They're not going to stand for that. They want their vengeance. I don't know if it's a map thing or a creature thing or what, but for some reason, most of these things aren't attacking. They seem to go nuts as soon as the Titan starts moving. But every time it stops and sits still, half of them are just standing there watching. And they get hit by the lightning or the flock or whatever. And these things don't have a whole lot of health. I did bring a pair of tech binoculars with me so that we can try to keep an eye on the Titan's health. But the eagle-eyed among you might be able to catch the stats on the Ichthyes. Bear in mind, these are just bred. They're not mutated. They're not even fantastic stats. They're just some seagulls I tamed and I bred out. They all do have pretty matching stats. There is a health mutation on the entire line just because, well, I didn't notice it until after I had 100 of them. It already took long enough to get the stats straight, plus to breed out 100 of these. Yeah, I could have used admin commands. I could have turned up my rates. I don't want to. I want to do this as legit as possible to show you just what you can do. And yeah, this is a stupid idea. Who brings seagulls to a Desert Titan fight? Well, There's a reason the channel's called Idjit's Gaming. But just because you think it might be a bad idea doesn't mean it will be. The only way to know for sure is to test it out. And yeah, 100 of these little seagulls might be a little overkill, but I don't like the Desert Titan. I like overkill. It's fun. It's enjoyable. And I really like watching his health melt once they're all going to town. But if you notice, they're only doing like 37 damage per hit. And I learned a valuable lesson here. If you're using the tech binoculars, don't try to right click when you've got this many critters plus the flock. I have a really good PC, and every time I right click, it struggles. Though, then again, I'm kind of showing you the more things on the screen at a time, even a good PC is gonna struggle with this game. Right now, it looks like the pesky little boogers are doing a pretty good job when they want to attack. Otherwise, they're just flying around, staring at nothing, waiting for me to whistle. I notice they do a little bit better job if I whistle at the little nibbly bits hanging down from the Desert Titan. I guess they don't like little nibbly bits. Maybe they're trying to figure out what in the world those things are. I know I have been. I mean, it's supposed to be a giant stingray thing. What the hell are those? One thing I can say for certain, the seagulls don't like them. They really get up into its backside and just start going to town. It's really amazing to see just how fast the health is dropping on this Titan, and before you know it, boom, they win. Bunch of seagulls killed the giant stingray, and down it goes. Now for the big drawback. I got a whole bunch of these things flying all over the place. I gotta whistle them and try to get this mess cleaned up so we can move on to the next fight. Because now we've proven that 100 seagulls can beat it. How about 75? 50? 25? 10? We're gonna find out. But that's for a future episode. So be sure to be on the lookout for the extended version of this fight, where we ask the question, just how many does it take? And we'll find out. Because obviously, it wasn't that bad of an idea. So let's make it a bad idea. Let's bring less. And this is about when I remember seagulls can't catch up to a swooping snow owl. And instead, I look up to this scene of horror. As I'm sure you've been hit by an ichthy or two, but could you imagine nearly 100 flying at you? Back at base, it's time to figure out just how many I lost. And I'm way too lazy to count them, so I'm just going to throw them here in this box. And from what I see, I lost 14. There's still 86 of them left. And here's their stats. They're not fantastic. I mean, seriously, 39 health, 39 melee, these are crap. I could have found better ones, but that skews the experiment. If you found this video funny, entertaining, drop a like, drop a sub, drop a comment. Till next time, I've been an Idjit, obviously.